Hey, what's up, everybody? Before we get into this week's episode, I want to tell you guys about something very exciting, and I'm speaking to the Roast Battle super fans right now. If you're watching RBL Weekly, we have the best fans in the world. You guys are really into the show. I appreciate you all. And a lot of you have asked me privately, how can I support the show? We've given you zero opportunities to support us in any way other than watching. We're changing that. On June 17th, we're going to be launching a Patreon. If you are a fan of the show and you want to support the league, keep giving us the opportunity to do bigger, better, cooler things. This is the best way to do it. We're going to have exclusive content that's only available to Patreon subscribers. We're going to have early releases. You could see it before it comes out on YouTube, early, uncensored, ad-free, and a bunch of other cool bonus content I'm going to be telling you a little bit about in this episode. So if you are a super fan and you want to support us, this is your opportunity, and you're going to get a lot of cool stuff in the process. June 17th, I'm giving you guys a heads up right now, so when it comes around, you're not going to be surprised about it. Thank you, as always, for your support, and without further ado, let's jump into this week's episode of RBL Weekly. What's up, everybody? Week 13 of the RBL season. This is RBL Weekly. I'm the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker, joined, as always, by the host and creator of the Roast Battle, a conservatively dressed Brian Moses.
All black like a ninja.
Yeah. You're getting ahead of it.
I mean, listen, this is as good as it gets for them. They don't want me to be in anything else other than all black, or I could just be butt naked, if that's what you guys want.
No, nobody wants that.
Are you sure?
I'm good.
Right,
I speak on behalf of me. It's Pride Month. I should not speak on behalf of our fan base.
June is Pride Month.
It is. Yeah.
I like that you know that.
Yeah, happy Pride.
All right.
Yeah. I live in LA, and every corporation's logo is rainbow colored now. So, you know.
I mean, listen, here at the Roast Battle, we do, we're year round, 365 or 54 weeks at least of nothing but the hits when it comes to gender and pronouns and race and country and money and any kind of social construct you want. We got it here at the Roast Battle.
Nobody has given a bigger platform to the LGBTQIA plus community, I feel like, over the last decade than us.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Not just, all of it. Disabled, any kind of disabled, right? Socially, physically.
Certainly socially.
Yeah, socially,
Lord
physically,
knows.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
All kinds of disabled.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of social and emotional disabilities in the Roast Battle. A lot of damaged people making for a lot of great content. It made for a lot of great content this past week. I don't know if you're aware. LA versus the Bay became a huge thing. It started with the California Cup. The Bay Area feeling themselves a little bit because they had the two finalists for the California Cup. Deep Tanshu Ja winning the whole thing. Congratulations to him. The Bay Area riding on the back of those two guys. They did all the work. And then they go recording diss tracks and, everything else. And they hit me up. Send your best up to the Bay. Send your best people up to the Bay. So we sent them up there. Final count, 10 battles between the California Cup finals, that event, and then 2 up in the Bay. 7 for LA, 3 for the Bay. Who's keeping score? Not me.
Wow. Why do you keep doing that, Josh? Why do you keep just calling out this, you just keep going, it's going there, home run, and then you don't even get a double. You don't even get a ground rule double. What is that?
No, they got something. We'll see. Maybe in the countdown. I don't know. Maybe we'll see something today.
They got Deep Tanshu Ja,
Sure. Yeah.
Subas is I think he's a welcoming addition to the Roast Battle character family.
They did Subas versus Digits in Sacramento.
I mean, I thought the world would explode if that was going to happen.
Yeah. And they're holding it. They're saving it. They did not submit that battle this week, which tells me sweeps week.
Ooh.
They're saving Digits versus Subas for sweeps week.
All right, Bay, I love you, but Josh, you got to stop with the arrogance. It's bad.
We'll see. By the end of the episode, you might be changing your tune.
Really?
I don't know.
Am I gonna have a diss track about LA?
You might have to.
All right.
I don't know. Digits is in the studio, by the way.
Is he really?
He sent me a beat. He's like, it's an original beat.
Oh.
He's like, I'm not using it. No, he's recording. He's got a response coming. So, Digits speaks on behalf of everybody from LA. I will not be hopping on a track.
I thought you meant he was in the studio here. I was like,
no.
We have a special guest today.
Jesus, no. Yeah. No, we keep him as far away as possible. What do you say we get into some battles, huh?
I'm down.
So, as always, top 7 battles of the week from around the world. 7, 6, and 5 we do not watch here in the studio. The top 4 we watch and add our commentary. By the way, I had a comment a couple of weeks ago. Somebody said, I'm convinced that the rankings committee is not even watching the battles. They were very upset about it. So guess what? Good news. I alluded to it in the open that we haven't recorded yet, but I will in a little bit. We're going to put in the front TV magic. There's a Patreon coming on June 17th. There's going to be a tier on the Patreon where if you join, and this is strictly for the super fans of RBL Weekly, strictly for the Roast Battle nerds, and I mean that in the best way possible, you can join the ranking committee for 1 week this season. You're going to get an opportunity to see exactly how difficult this is. A lot of people behind the keyboards, oh, it's easy to rank the battles. Yeah, when we put the top 7 in order for you. When you're watching 15 of them, you got to jump all over the place. So guess what? If you want to do this, if you're like, I would like to see what that's like. Also, I want to see kind of like the bad battles.
That is so cool.
It's very cool.
I mean, that's almost like, remember MTV's Want to Be a VJ? Want to Be a Video Jockey?
Yeah.
In like the 90s and 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that feels like. It's like you get to now be a part of Roast Battle Professionals and see how we rank them. Well, not we. I don't do that. That's all Pat and the committee. I don't even know who these shadow people are, but now you get to be a shadow person.
I'm curious to see how like the audience would respond to the thing, because that's one of the beautiful things about sports that we haven't found a way to incorporate yet. You know, the All-Star game and all, there's fan voting, there's a component of it. So if you're a super fan, I want to know what you think about this. So June 17th, that Patreon is dropping. Keep an eye out for that. If you want to get involved in this, you want to watch the battles, you want to see what all the fuss is about with Atlanta and Australia and why we're always so mad.
Oh, that's badass. This is sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the best tier. I would do that if I was that into it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's see how the ranking committee did this week. Let's see if they fucked it up again. It's the number 7 battle this week. It comes to us from Chicago. Been a couple weeks since we've seen Chicago on here. They jump back into the fray of things with the number 7 battle. This is Stephanie Robertson versus Bob Keane. Here it is.
Bob Keane is like family to me. Yeah. He's like the uncle my cousins would warn me about. Bob, you look like you would reach into my pants, not for pussy, but for spare change. Yeah.
Give it up for Horry Gilmore. Loving the outfit, Steph. I really am. Does that come with 5 cats, a rope, and a stool? You have a gay twin brother, and you still dress like that.
Your outfit looks like it comes with divorce papers. Okay,
Yeah, well, you look like you wear Fisher-Price thongs.
You look like you're not allowed at a Fisher-Price, all right? Yeah, believe it or not, Bob Keane is married. He is married. He's broke and he's married. Can you believe it? Yeah. The hardest part about his wedding was convincing the driver to write "just married" on the back of the Uber.
It was a Jewish wedding. She did the driving. You look like the girl from Taken if they named the movie Left There.
This guy has a hard time staying afloat in comedy. I think that's why they call him Bob. That was stupid.
Good one, Anne Hackaway. Stephanie's boobs couldn't make it tonight, but they said their best. Stephanie's tits are a lot like God. They don't exist, but we all feel better pretending they do.
Yeah, well, you have man tits, Bob, so I don't know what to tell you. Bob actually used to have a much nicer body. He used to have like a swimmer's body. Yeah, but now he stays out of the water once he found out the Little Mermaid's black. Yeah. Bob Keane, more like Bob's not too keen about these black folk moving into the neighborhood. All right.
In the first scene of the movie, she no call, no show to gig. She's been black the whole time. Stephanie pokes holes in condoms so she can still swallow. The only time she ever pulls a dick out of her mouth is so she can call the cops on an immigrant.
Bob, you look like you can tell me about all of the wars you would have been too scared to fight in. Will rise again. Yeah, if there's a Blue Chew around. Okay.
Fuck you, Snow White trash. You had more open mic comics inside you than a bar on a Tuesday. Everyone gets 4 minutes and it's never good. But hey, she has a boyfriend, but don't worry, fellas, she's taking reserve spots for next week.
Too inside. They don't know all that lingo, Bobby. Yeah, Bob really, he hates women in comedy. He really does. Mainly because they're funnier than him. And yeah. And he's not allowed to hit him. All right.
We'll see about that. Old Mary Tyler whore over here. Look. Stephanie books shows at a place called The Vixen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cause I guess. Sorry, I fucking hate myself.
Do it, Bob. We all hate you too, so it's fine.
It's called The Vixen because cum gargling demon skank was a little big for the sign.
Oh, Bob, you are never getting booked again there. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Ironically, that venue would have loved that joke.
Bob, if you're here, who's bagging groceries poorly at the Jewel Osco? All right. Yeah.
All right.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Stephanie, you've had more shitty comics on you than Kill Tony. She was on Kill Tony. It was so bad they renamed the show Kill Yourself.
Oh.
This guy gets it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him sit in that bomb. Go ahead, yeah.
All right, that's the battle. Here we go. All right, so that was the number 7 battle this week. Chicago, Stephanie Robertson, Bob Keane. Chicago got off to a very hot start, 32 points in the first 6 weeks. Since then, 6.5 points in the next 7 weeks. A tale of two parts of the season so far for Chicago.
Not bad, Chicago. Let's go.
Yeah, so hopefully back up on the swing of things. They built that big lead. They lost the lead. Now hopefully coming back and swinging. They have a big battle coming up, by the way, June 20th, I believe. Max Sorich going against Brandon Kiefer.
Ooh, that is fun.
That's about as big as it gets in Chicago right now.
Definitely. 2 different sides of date rapists.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And by the way, June 20th, if you're in LA, we are going to be back at Jam in the Van.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, Jam in the Van.
Yeah, I got some good battles planned for that. Looking forward to it. Let's keep it moving right now with the number 6 battle this week, and we are going to go north of the border to Toronto. Yeah. Now, this battle features a first-time battler and someone with a little bit more experience. It's funny when they're submitted, sometimes there's a language around them where it's like, oh, this battle's great, you're going to love this one. And then other times it's like, I don't know, kind of throwing this at the wall. And you set your expectations high or low. I went into this one thinking like, okay, they set me up. They're like, oh yeah, it's a new guy, but I think he did pretty good. And then I watched it. A lot of fun. You're going to like this one a lot. It's number 6 from Toronto this week. It is Rahul Tapala versus Dave Burke. Here it is.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Dave is the whitest man I've ever met. Sorry, I got that joke before I saw Jerry. Dave is the second whitest man I have ever met. He is the literal vanilla ice. He looks like the only time he's had spice is when he's been pepper sprayed by his sister. Right?
Oh, good one. Yeah, that's nice. Rahul Tapala, everybody. Give a sloppy toppy, everybody. Come on, give it up for him. Rahul went to one of the top engineering schools in the U.S. Too bad they couldn't teach him how to craft a joke. Rahul, you look like a doctor that's working on a cure for your own AIDS.
Well, all right, yeah, fair. I look like the British starvation victim who got away, I know. It's cool. I'll tell you about Dave. Dave is a failed comedian who loves to play World of Warcraft. It's pretty impressive, Dave. You never blew up, but you're still surrounded by virgins. I don't know how you did that.
Rahul, speaking of virgins, lost his virginity last year. And he's getting married next month. He's 28. That's it. No, 20. Took him a while, but he had to wait for her to turn 18. So.
Well, I'll tell you the actual story. It's true. I wasn't getting girls in India, so I came here to get a business degree, and I actually met my fiance there. Don't know why that's funny to you. Education.
That's not a rebuttal. That's just your relationship history.
No, I mean that's the thing. I went to business school and I met my fiance. That's the difference between my people and yours. When we don't get laid, we go to school. When you don't get laid, you shoot up schools. All right,
No. Look, I'm happy that Rahul found love. It's tough. You can't arrange these things. You can't just plan for a marriage. Like, seriously. Living in India and losing your virginity at 27 is crazy. You're so uncool, you couldn't even get an invite to a gang rape. Hey, I'm not the one raping, all right? Come on.
The only thing I'm raping tonight is you.
All right.
Dave actually dropped out of college twice and then lost $1,000 at a casino. He's a bigger waste of money than the Eglinton LRT. Except that sometimes women still want to ride the LRT.
You should have seen this woman I fucked in that casino in Edmonton, buddy. She was as big as an LRT. This guy gets laid.
Shout out Edmonton.
He gets laid for the first time last year. He gets cocky. This guy. Rahul is Hindu, but you've been masturbating for so many years of your life, it makes sense you worship a god with 9 arms. And if I were you, I would hope for reincarnation too.
He does know a lot about my culture. His day job is actually an immigration lawyer. He helps immigrants get into the country. Dave, I've never said this to a stoner before, but I think you're working too hard. There is such a thing as too much white guilt, all right? It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. He took all the immigrant money and he lost it at a Native American casino. He took from Indians and gave to Indians. I don't understand.
After this, I'm taking Monday off, buddy. Few you aren't getting in. I mean, just look at you. If you were white, you'd be on a pervert watch list. Now you're just on a terror watch list. One of the notes Rahul gave me said that he shit his pants in kindergarten. That was last week when he was caught sniffing around the playground.
I talked about how Dave dropped out of college. He actually dropped out twice. He took economics, dropped out, took psychology, dropped out. Dude, you're broke and you're fucked up. Those were the 2 degrees you actually needed. Like, that's like hearing Diddy walked out of sexual harassment training. I'm like, bro, come on. Like that was the one thing that could have flipped it around for you. That was like hearing OJ dropped criminology. I'm like, you fucking moron. Like, all right, that was it.
OJ got away with it, first of all. So that he was a good criminal, right? Anyways, Sloppy Toppy. Give it up for Sloppy Toppy, everyone. Come on, I think you won too. It's a good roast. I do have to be honest. When we do these roasts, we exchange notes about each other. I hate to break the fourth wall, but I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. And we got 8 notes from him. 4 of them are about how he's Indian. And he's up here calling me a racist. Half the stuff you told me is that you're Indian. Are you sure you're not a white woman?
All right, so the number 6 battle this week from Toronto, Rahul Tapala versus Dave Burke. Rahul Tapala is like a top tier RBL name.
Yeah.
I love that. It joins the ranks of Ish the comic.
Oh, Ish is great.
From LA. Esther from Barcelona, Black Esther.
Oh, Black Esther. Yeah. Or just Esther. Sorry, Esther. Yeah.
We had a guy named Coke one time.
Yeah, we got some really bad names.
Yeah, DeHerm.
Digits.
The Bay Area had my personal favorite. They had a guy named Enache the Poetry Clown.
Wow.
He was a clown. French, I believe French clown.
Remember Pickle?
I do remember Pickle.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Pickle.
If you haven't seen Pickle and you haven't, just imagine what you think a guy named Pickle would look like, and you're right.
Yeah, Pickle versus DeHerm was wild.
Pickle. That was good. Both of their opponents canceled like 20 minutes before the battle.
Yeah.
And they're both just sitting there. And I'm like, how did I not land on Pickle versus DeHerm in the first place?
And then you did.
Yeah. And then it all kind of divine intervention.
That's how we do sandwiches here at Roast Battle. DeHerm and Pickle.
Yes. All right, let's actually watch some battles.
Okay.
The first three are so awkward because it's like, what do we say about a battle we just did not watch? Oh, wait, no, we still have one more we're not going to watch. I already lost track. It's number 5 this week, and this is New York, adding 3 points to their ledger, maintaining their lead over Chicago in the American East Division. This is a fun battle from Grove 34. It is Lindsay Lucio versus Daniel J. Perafan. Here it is.
The craziest thing about this pairing is I'm the one with diabetes. Hold on, I gotta. I sometimes sell videos of myself squishing my nose to horny creeps online. But enough about how I met Daniel.
All right, we gotta make this quick. At midnight, Lindsay turns back into a mannequin. Thank you, Barbie, if she lived during the plague.
Daniel, if you're here, then who's your girlfriend reluctantly having sex with?
Lindsay told me that she lost her virginity earlier this year, and it's the only thing we have in common.
Hey, buddy, I would have lost it a lot sooner if I also didn't take no for an answer. Okay. Daniel says he grew up in poverty. Hey, buddy, you didn't grow up. You grew out.
Thank you, ghost of a girl who was bullied into suicide. Lindsay is really skinny and she has sunken eyes. She looks like a raccoon that's addicted to heroin.
Daniel's suicide attempt is a lot like his comedy career. Unsuccessful, but half of New York comics want him to keep trying.
Thank you, Hot Girl, the Tim Burton movie. If Lindsay seems nervous, it's because it's the first time she's been in front of this many people that haven't been throwing pig's blood on her.
Daniel looks like if the Mucinex mascot went up girls' skirts instead of noses.
Lindsay, if you're here, who's haunting the second floor girls' bathroom at Hogwarts?
All right, number 5, New York City. We didn't watch it. We don't have anything to say. Let's keep it moving right now because I don't have any more hot pickle riffs. Let's watch some actual battles here in the studio. We're going to jump right into our number 4 battle this week. And this comes to us from Austin, Texas, and it has a familiar face to us, not to the audience. This is, I believe, a virgin suicide. First time these guys have ever battled. But the one guy has been our podcast producer the couple episodes we've done in Austin.
Oh. Who?
Our boy Josh Cabaza.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
I know Josh did Roast Battle.
I think this is his first one. He's going up against one of his best friends, kind of his doppelganger. They look alike, they sound alike, and, apparently best buds, and they're going at it in a roast battle here. It's the number 4 battle this week. It is Josh Cabaza versus Jesse Saldana. Here it is.
Hello. Jesse is not a registered sex offender. He's an undocumented one. Paul's saying that shit like we don't look like each other. Now people confuse us for each other all the fucking time. People would call me Josh all the fucking time. Comics confuse us. A comedy club confused us. His wife confuses me for him every other Friday night. talk. Jesse looks like a younger me if I decided to get veneers instead of hair plugs. Show him.
Those ones hit me in the soul.
Man, the sun's getting capped up on my future diabetic self. Now, y'all give it up for Josh, man. He produces Shean and Mass podcast. Give it up for him. Yeah, that's a big deal, man. Josh produces a lot of big podcasts in Austin. He runs a lot of good shows in Austin. The only thing that he can't produce is a decent home life for his wife and kids. Luckily, his wife is the breadwinner, so. He's doing all right. He came up. She does have 2 jobs, so I can do this. It's okay, though. I'm very proud of her. Women power, always Yeah. Jesse is a creep. But he's like a good creep. Like, he'll house sit for you last minute, but he will smell all your wife's panties. That's it. You calling me a creep, dog? Alright. When that Diddy video came out of him kicking that girl, you were the first one to be like, hey, hold on. We don't know the whole story. Watch it again. He's doing the wrestler stunt where he like stomps the other. It's not. It's fucking. It's a whole deep state conspiracy. You guys are. You don't know. Jesse is a former rodeo champ from Houston, Texas. He was a legend because no cowboy could stay on him more than 6 seconds. We're going to talk about dreams that never came true. They call him Buck and Pussy Saldana. Recover, dog. Nah, Josh used to rap, just like every other drunk Mexican. But Josh didn't give up. He was handing out his mixtape well into his 30s. You know, just couch surfing from one hot Cheetos girl to the next, selling them dreams. His rap name was Hot Taki Joshi. So I got 3 hours on SoundCloud. The first one is called Trapped in a Box with Big Bad Thoughts. THOTS. And then there was The Escape, and then Committed. So check it out on SoundCloud. It was put out 2014. Anyway. So Jesse, we talk to each other on like what we can say and not. And he texts me this and just to prove it, right? Was that a text from him? Yes, so a text from him, okay. Hey bro, you should write a joke about me stopping doing cocaine because it makes my dick not work. And I can't take Viagra because it gives me a headache. So I bought a cock pump, but it doesn't work all the time. So I'm thinking about getting stem cells injected into my penis. So it feels fuller. You should write a joke about that. Hey, fuck you, dog! You know that? Josh got kicked out of a strip club because he was picking up money off the ground. He fucking swears to this day that he was just trying to give the stripper her money back. Right? I don't fucking believe him. Y'all don't fucking believe him. His wife doesn't fucking believe him because she knows the truth. He ran out of his allowance. All facts. That's all true.
All right, guys.
You ever do that strip club move?
No, you don't do that because you get thrown out, Pat.
What if you pick it up and you throw it back on the stage? It's like an offensive rebound.
No, they see you picking it up off the stage. They come.
No, not off the stage. Sometimes it flutters and it ends up on the floor, and then you're just picking it up and.
I mean, I've seen that, but I get those guys are huge, those bodyguards, and they're looking at
Yeah.
they're looking at guys like us.
Okay.
Yeah, guys who shouldn't be there.
All right. So don't do that.
Please don't do that, Pat.
Okay.
I don't want you to come back fucked up. Yeah, Roast Battle League doesn't have any health insurance right now, so.
I'm going on a roast battle bachelor party at the end of the month.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Ew.
Our friend Jay Light getting married. Going out to Vegas with roast battle legends Jay Light, Frank Castillo, Alex Young.
Wow.
And a bunch of people I don't know as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of numbers without names in that group text.
This battle is interesting because it had two different types of fighters. Josh has this real dry sense of humor.
Yep.
Right, so it can carry his jokes a little farther because he's just because his style is so different from Jesse's.
Yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And they're also very weirdly ethnically ambiguous. Like I learned at the end that Josh is Mexican. Right? Which I didn't know what he was at that point, right? Some type of white passing something white, or then something else that's sort of white. And then with Jesse, he's got this slang, this twang to his voice also, and he's got a big charisma to him. Not big jokes, big charisma.
Yeah.
His best joke was said by Josh.
Yes.
Like Jesse was working overtime with that charisma to a point where, hey, you should do this. Like it was so jumbled and stupid. Josh was like, I'm just going to say this because this is so stupid.
Sometimes the most effective way to make your point is to just say the thing. Like rather than try to come up with like, how will I work this into a punchline? It's like, I have the text right here. I will just, and presenting it to the guy in the front row as if it's a magic trick. Like we've never met before, right, sir? Can you verify what card I'm holding in my hand? Like, I thought that was really, really cool. I like Josh's whole demeanor in the battle, the way he kind of deflected everything by just being like, Jesse's opening joke was basically like, I had sex with your wife, and Josh was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That dry style just kind of like it what is it, fireman carry in wrestling where they kind of just like flip you over.
Flip him over, yeah.
It just kind of, that's what he was doing the whole time. It was just like, come on, Jesse. I'm just better at you than this. He was just kind of dancing him around, but it was also fun because they're friends.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of things about both of them, which you always love. Even though the jokes might not have been strong on one side or even the other side, I did learn a lot, and I could tell they were both having fun.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really hard to compare a battle with like good joke writing, but there's no chemistry, to a battle with great chemistry and no joke writing. And we see so many of these battles in the rankings every week that a lot of times a battle like this, a lot of times will be polarizing. Some people will have it like, one or two, like not this one in particular, but a chemistry heavy battle, 1 or 2, and then other people will have it like 10 or 11. Pretty much everybody agreed this was like fine. It was in sort of like the 4 to 5 range on kind of everybody's ballots. It was solid. There's nothing really to dislike about it. You could tell that they're new to the kind of the craft of like roast joke writing specifically. But like a couple things I loved about it, we're seeing more and more of these cities where everybody's on their phones. I feel like it's getting more acceptable, whereas I thought it would be getting less acceptable. And everybody's kind of like, yeah, this is just what we do. It was nice to see those guys just like, you didn't see a phone until it was required for the one joke. Where he was reading the text message.
The phone thing is interesting now, I think, especially at this point in Roast Battle's lineage, just because you're still doing the thing where I just wrote these today. It's that magic trick. Like you just said magic trick earlier in this.
Yeah.
It's that thing of, I don't really care about this. I just wrote these today. With as if it's on paper, it's almost like you took the time to write it down, where it's like something weird and electronic, almost you could say it into your phone and it's like, I just wrote these when I was in the shower, or wrote these on the shitter on the way over. It feels like you're not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the internet comes in, and they're just like, hey man, like what the fuck? Like I'm investing my time into this. You should invest your time into this. And reading on the phone seems like you're not investing your time into it.
You know what's funny? I think in the room, it feels cooler to not give a shit. Right? Like there's this weird like sentiment that exists, you know, where trying is lame. Not just in like roast battle, in anything.
I mean, like high school,
anything,
junior high, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when social culture starts in your life, it's almost like it's cool to not give a shit about anything.
Exactly, right. So in the room, maybe there is that. Maybe they could memorize them. They're just like, I don't want to look like I care about this thing. You know, God forbid. These people will think I'm a fucking nerd. Like, I got news for you. If you're sitting down writing roast jokes about another person, you're a nerd. We're doing, like, you're part of this thing. So you might as well, in my opinion, lean into it. If that's why they're doing it, because they're like, oh, I want to give off the impression I don't care, that's lame. I thought it was literally like, I don't want to forget my jokes. But if it is that thing, if anybody's doing that, stop it. Just lean into the fact that, like, you know, look like a professional. It's cool.
At this point, it's cool. I can give it to you maybe 10, 9, 8, 7 even years ago before it's on TV. But at that point, the stakes are risen. The stakes have risen. Because, like, you know, you're on television. You got to be a professional kind of a thing. At this point, it's like going up there being like, even Tim McGorry, guy just got out of jail. He can care less about this fucking sport. Yeah. But a guy goes there, writes his index cards, reads his joke off it, and then throws the joke in.
Made it into like a little gimmick or something.
As if it's merch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, he's taking it seriously enough just to write, you know, 3 to 5 words.
Right.
You can do that. I mean, like on your fucking phone. Just take it seriously and it'll go a long way.
It reminds me of, you ever see a Tough Crowd clip with Greg Giraldo and Dennis Leary?
Yeah.
Where like Leary is just bombing and he's frustrated and Giraldo's killing and Leary is like, this guy writes so many jokes before the show. Thinking it's this big gotcha. And Giraldo's like, yeah, it's kind of what we do here, Dennis. Like, you know, like imagine bombing and your thing is like, this guy prepared. This guy cared about this thing. That's fucking lame.
Yeah, look how well I'm doing and you're not.
Yeah, exactly. But so I really liked that they were both like in the moment. They were not on their phones. They had a lot of fun. The chemistry was good. I didn't think it was the strongest like joke writing battle, but like sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes it's refreshing to just kind of get two friends up there like busting each other's balls and, you know, having a good time.
Yeah, I really like Josh. I think Josh has a really high ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could tell he was a little meek because it's his first time. There's a little bit of a safety net because that's your friend kind of a thing. But yeah, I can see Josh really doing well.
I hope he keeps doing it. And by the way, congratulations, Josh, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, RBL Weekly. Like it's a little bit of a downgrade, but yeah.
You know, but he's got to find a way to bridge the gap before we're back in Austin and need him again.
Yeah. No, seriously, fucking Shane and Matt are the best, and Josh, you're badass.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's keep it going right now, and let's jump into number 3, and this is a city that is in the midst of a major hot streak. They came into last week with only 8 points on the season. Last week they put up 8.5 by virtue of being, you know, part of the number 1 battle and the number 3 battle. This week they come out again and again post the number 3 battle. It's the second week in a row we've been seeing a lot of these guys. I'm talking about Denver. And this features a guy who works at the Improv. We met him when we were out there for the World Championships. We love him. And a guy that I do not know. This is my first time seeing him, but, they're both a lot of fun. This is Dan Mazooka versus Brian Sullivan. Here it is.
Man, I'm so happy to see you, Dan, man. Dan's here, so it's safe to say we're not within 200 feet of a preschool. I love Dan so much, man. When Dan got hired as a manager here, the Improv told him he could throw his weight around. There's been 7 work-related deaths since.
And a couple broken doors and chairs. All right, thank you, Kevin Heart disease. You may recognize Brian from Kill Tony or the back of a squad car. Seriously, Brian, is that your shadow or a theft prevention officer?
Thank you, Jack. I wish I was black. All right.
Thank you, guy who beats women in Tyler Perry movies.
All right. Yeah, great. I love Dan, man. Dan's so cool, man. I love Dan. Seriously. Let me, I don't know.
Come on, doesn't Brian look like he'd sell you an eighth of catfish?
Thank you, CeeLo Gangrene. Fuck you. You look like someone threw glasses on a sack of potatoes.
Brian was in the military. He held the rank of step stool. Brian's dad was also in the military, you know, before he left.
Surprise, motherfucker. This next joke isn't even a joke. I just saw Dan taking a shit near a dumpster, and by that I mean he was rehearsing his material. Fuck you.
All right, this roller rink DJ is Brian. When I first met Brian, I was like, there's no way this guy's name is Brian Sullivan. It's like your parents named you after the detective that's gonna put you away.
Dan started smoking Virginia Slims because he thought it would help with his thyroid problem. Dan is super fat, if y'all can't tell. His shoes can't even keep up. Dan's shoes got more lean, it just did a song with Future.
This short king with a high-pitched voice is Brian.
That's me.
When he's not rolling a blunt on his lap, you can find him threatening a line cook at Waffle House.
You look like a Zionist who hates Jews.
That's Rich coming from number 1 and 7 on a police lineup.
You look like someone made a voodoo doll out of you and they keep feeding it.
You look like your hairline is running from the cops.
You look like you would have your wedding reception at a Taco Bell.
You look like when you throw up beads for bitch, can't you see I'm standing here?
If you're here, who's sending nudes to Little Debbie? You look like a creative player for a game called Infinite Snacking.
This dollar store do-rag is Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's actually an anomaly. Most burglars I know are quiet.
Dan Mazooka. Dan Mazooka's such a creep on the internet, they canceled his Disney Plus subscription.
Okay, Brian looks like he'd pay for pussy if it was under $100.
You look like the villain from Toy Story 2 had a change of heart and started collecting dildos.
You look like you put hot sauce on a girl before you go up on her.
Okay, break it. To catch a predator.
It's actually because it's hard to find.
Dan, if you're here, who started fires with the lint from their belly button?
Hold up. Brian only dates white women because he's broke, and he knows their parents will pay for the abortion.
Dan's a manager at the Improv, but he does have a side hustle, harvesting honey from his back.
Never knows when to stop. Okay.
Just like your cholesterol.
All right, that's for Improv. Make it fucking loud for these two.
All right, so a lot of punches thrown, a lot of back and forth in that battle. I like the parts where it broke down and just devolved into chaos, and they were just like throwing everything at each other. Dan definitely controlled the battle. I felt like throughout it. Brian, you lose momentum when your second joke, like, not only are you reading off of your phone and your opponent is not, which already you look kind of amateur, but you're staring at the phone and you still somehow forgot the joke. And to Dan's credit, he gave it a few seconds and then he was just like too long and jumped in and did his joke and it was over at that point. Like the 8th of Catfish, like, that was the end of it. And I kind of stepped on it a little bit because I was thinking out loud, like, how are you staring at your phone and you still forgot the joke?
That was very distracting and very dumb. I'm not saying that Brian is, I just thought that's a bad move of you're already up there. And we just said the thing about like, it doesn't look like you're taking it seriously. And then you're actively looking at the writing that you can't read. That's crazy. That's such a, that hurts you in a battle. That hurts you in a fight, you know? And, you know, with Dan, it's, you know, I mean, listen, he did control the fight.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing. But it was just, it felt like two guys just, oh, we watched Roast Battle before. We're just going to shove a bunch of stereotypes in here and some cliches and see what happens.
I think my thing is like, look, if you're battling somebody of a different race, I'm totally fine with like attacking that and everything like that. And even having, you know, multiple jokes that are racial in nature, I think it's fine. you can only attack each individual stereotype one time. You know what I mean? Like there were like, I feel like 3 to 5, like, you're going to get arrested, you're a criminal, you're going to get shot by the cops. Like, to me, I liked it more when he was like, he only dates white girls because he knows their parents will pay for the abortion.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like a creative and
through the
clever kind
portfolio.
of. There's so much about, you know, black people to make fun of.
My God.
We don't have to like limit ourselves to one thing. I mean.
Yeah, and then like he kind of like, you know, like you're talking about the offense kind of devolved a little bit into just your look like jokes.
Yeah.
You know, so when it just goes to just that backyard style of, you know, or just cafeteria style roasting, Dan even dominated him there. It was just like, you look like this, and Brian's doing the classic David Lucas or roast me thing of just, I'm gonna say something outlandish and hope it drops. And like, you know, it's a room full of white people. They may not get everything.
The guy from Toy Story with some dildos is classic. That's David Lucas Playbook 101.
I mean,
that's the first play up.
If you're here, who's starting forest fires with their belly button lint?
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on, Brian.
Yeah. I did like sack of potatoes with glasses.
That was perfect because that's what he looks like.
He does look like a sack of potatoes with glasses.
They look two different types of discontinued Teddy Grahams. Like 2 different kinds of raisins that fell on the floor.
Yeah, Dan definitely controlled it. I would just like to see him use more colors on the palette for your racism next time.
Yeah, if you're gonna do, we're gonna do colored people jokes. You know? Yeah, go through the entire catalog.
I'm serious. If you're battling an Asian guy, you can't do 5 small dick jokes. You could do one of them, and you could do a 1 can't drive joke, and you're good at math, you know, whatever.
Drowning a daughter, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. You went way darker than I did, but yeah, that's kind of the point.
I mean, we're talking about black jokes. I always go dark.
Yeah, shout out to that. Denver, either way, pulling in at the number 3 spot this week. Couple of big personality, energy battles to kick us off here. Let's get into a little bit more on the pen side of things, a little bit of the joke writing, and let's go internationally to get there. Let's go to Manchester. Manchester opened up a big lead in the International East Division. They have been stagnant for a few weeks, allowing Tokyo to kind of catch them, come close. London is lurking, and Manchester, you know, they needed a big week to establish some distance between themselves and Tokyo and London. They get it this week. The number 2 battle, they pick up 6 points for a battle I don't believe we've seen either of these people. So excited to check it out now. This is Paul Shean versus Danielle Francis. Here it is.
Before I start, Paul, I just want to say that I will destroy what little testosterone you currently have. Paul is a stereotypical Irish man. He's short, likes to drink, and never shuts up. Paul takes forever to say a sentence. By the time he finishes, he might finally hit puberty. Paul openly admits he's a bad bisexual because he's only 10% into men, so the only head he's ever tasted is the one on his Guinness. Not only is he a bad bisexual, but also a bad Irishman, because he thinks Gaelic is another word for rimming.
Danielle is Scottish, apparently. The only Scottish thing about Danielle is that she looks like Susan Boyle. Danielle wears a lot of makeup on her face. Her face has more layers than her personality. Danielle's a big fan of Lady Gaga because she wants to feel good when someone calls her a little monster. She's reclaiming the word. Danielle claims that she's a miracle child. Yeah, it's a miracle that anyone wants to have sex with her.
Thank you, unfuckable Mr. Tumnus. Paul is so awkward, even his sperm has social anxiety because they constantly arrive too early. Paul plays guitar because it's the only time he ever gets to finger underneath the G-string. Paul identifies as unattractive. His pronouns are self-aware. I don't think Paul is unattractive at all. I actually think he's very attractive for a munchkin dying of AIDS.
Yeah, it's true. Give it up for Snow White and the 7 STIs, everybody. Danielle must have ate the dwarfs because she's grumpy, she's sleepy, she's dopey, and she's bashful. So, 7 dwarfs. 7 dwarfs joke.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I say that because Danielle is a Disney fanatic. Should have set that up. She is a Disney fanatic. But despite dressing as a princess, she cannot find a Mickey. In Ireland, Mickey means penis.
Nice.
What a recovery.
That's awesome.
Just explain it. Explain the bomb.
I'll pass it over.
Yeah. Well, you look like Peter Parker if he was bitten by a radioactive virgin.
Okay.
Paul looks like Frodo Baggins halfway through transitioning into Gollum.
He does.
Paul seems like the kind of guy to stalk Snow White. Because of her association with little men, she's the only woman willing to love him. Paul claims to be 5'9", and he is, if you take into account Ireland's higher exchange rate. In Britain, however, he's far too short to get laid, because nothing gives women the ick more than a man who can't legally drive without a booster seat.
Danielle does cosplay. That's the joke. Just kidding. Danielle's favorite outfit is Jigglypuff, because every time she grabs a microphone, everybody falls asleep. Yeah. Danielle also claims that she's a failed actress, but I loved her performance in Baby Reindeer.
Yeah.
Danielle's played Lady Macbeth also, but she's had much bigger on-stage tragedies, don't worry. She's used to dying on stage, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. Wow, an Irishman bombing, how original.
Let's go.
He's getting fucked up right now.
I'll let you have that. That was fucking funny.
That's pretty good.
Danielle's whole life is a Shakespearean tragedy because at the end of it, someone's killing themselves.
Hey. Well, at least men are attracted to me because I look like I'm over the age of consent.
Should have ended with the bombing, but it's okay.
Imagine giving advice to your opponent after you just got thoroughly dominated. You should have closed with the good one.
The Irish and the Scots.
Man, dude, that was fun. That was fun. There's a charm to Paul Shean. There's a charm to like that. I don't think a lot of people could pull off, but just like the look combined with the awkward energy combined with the process of explaining your jokes that just bombed, like he really made that work.
It was great, dude. He's what, Irish Luke Binkow. He's battling Scottish Paige Wesley.
Wow.
It's my American versions of those people. Yeah, you're right. You fall in love with Paul's style because it's almost like he's doing an act of being awkward.
Yeah.
Right? He's reading off the paper, even though he's like, oh yeah, that doesn't say that. And then it's just that old classic thing. And That was fun, but that did feel like too. She looks just like Baby Reindeer.
The Baby Reindeer thing was great. He had a couple of legitimately great ones.
Yeah.
There was also like this is just a piece of like roast writing advice in general. If you're gonna do, in comedy they call it the rule of threes, right? You list 3 things and then the third one is the punchline. When he did that 7 dwarves joke, he did 4 of them and none of them were the punchline. He just named 4 different dwarves. Like, she has these personality traits. There was nothing to signify this is where the joke ends. This is the funny part. Like, it was such a poorly written joke. And then he just stopped and explained it and somehow made it work.
That's what I thought. I thought it still worked. I was like, man, you're explaining all this. I'm like, yeah, it shouldn't have worked, but something about his charm, his charisma, that Riz they talk about in the Gen Z of it all. Yeah, dude, he pulled it off. I didn't know like I thought he did it on purpose.
No, I can't imagine he did. I think he thought that was going to get like a big reaction.
That's 7.
That was a 7 dwarves joke. And then the Mickey thing, he immediately followed it up with another one that he had to be like, in Ireland, a Mickey is a penis.
I love a joke. I mean, I love a battle where I learn things. I mean, Mickey's, I just think about the malt liquor.
Yeah, same.
Or, it's a slur.
Yeah.
Right? And for Irish people, I didn't know a Mickey, that's wild.
Yeah.
A Mickey is also like a date rape joke.
Yeah, I was going to say slip him a Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But penis.
And a mouse and a mantle. But I've never heard penis. If I had to come up with a list of the 10 things I think a Mickey could be, I would have never. Penis is nowhere on there.
Yeah, Fanny is pussy in London.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about international culture through Roast Battle.
Yeah,
mostly slang terms for pedophile and dick. For being honest, that's pretty much what I've learned.
Yeah,
but happy to have that knowledge. Good to know. Yeah, I thought Danielle really had a couple of well-written things. She had a couple jokes I really, really liked. The exchange rate I thought got slept on. I thought that was really good.
A good one,
yeah, early in the battle, she had a couple of great ones that are like slipping my mind right now. That happens a lot of times when they do 3 or 4 jokes per turn. You lose track of what you liked in the beginning, but she had a couple big ones. And then obviously the bomb thing was, that sealed the deal.
Yeah. Even he liked it, when your opponent's laughing at it too, it's you've got him right there.
Yeah.
You got him on the ropes.
And again, that's what I love about Paul's style. He's like, that was a funny one. Like, his style is not going to be conducive to winning many battles, but entertaining a crowd, which ultimately is kind of the whole point of a comedy show. Yeah, he's got that.
Yeah, he's like the Nathan for you of Roast Battle.
I was thinking he's more like the Mick Foley of Roast Battle, just getting thrown off of cages and like hitting the head with chairs, and he's never gonna win anything, but like, God, it's entertaining to watch him get his ass kicked.
He's the Mankind of Roast Battle.
Yeah.
Just nails on him, just getting thrown everywhere, missing teeth at the end of the battle. He's having a great time.
Great time of his life. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. A step up over the previous 2 battles in my mind in terms of the joke writing. I thought that they both had some really good ones. And again, the energy was there. The fun was there. Really enjoyed that out of Manchester this week.
Yeah, it looked like, you ever see the Gorillas?
No.
Yeah, you've seen the Gorillas, that band, the animated band. Feel Good Inc. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that felt like one of their videos. That felt like the lead singer's always like weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, a gorilla.
Yes. When you said the Gorillas, I thought it was like a movie or something.
Oh, no, the band.
Gorillas. All right, yeah. I'll have to go back and watch that to confirm, but you're probably right.
Feel Good Inc.
Feel Good Inc. And I'll tell you what's going to make you feel good is watching our number 1 battle this week. This comes to us from the Bay Area. This is one of the Bay versus LA battles. Boy, they take our battlers, they lose the battles, but they get some points out of it. A number 1 battle this week for one of our Bay versus LA clashes. This went down at the Sacramento Punchline, and it capped off a great weekend. From everybody, I was not up there, but I had a lot of, obviously, LA people up there. Everybody seemed to agree. It was a great weekend. They had great battles at Cobb's in San Francisco on the first day, and then the second day they had an all-Bay show, but a couple LA people stayed to judge it at Alameda. And then the third night, it capped off with the Sacramento event. This features 2 battlers who, as you'll see, are wearing the exact same shirt.
Wow.
the odds of that happening are, well, knowing these two guys pretty high. This is from the Bay Area, Drew Schaefer going up against LA's own Julian Fernandez. It's the number one battle this week. Here it is.
Before we get started, I just want to say it's almost midnight, so happy Pride Month. If you don't know, I'm queer, and obviously people call Drew a
oh, that's the joke.
Julian is, and wait for it, a queer, non-binary Mexican who works as a scare actor and lives with their parents.
Facts.
Yeah. Julian, your life sounds like a Mad Lib written by the wokest third grade classroom on earth. And you ask them for adverbs, you ask them for adjectives, but you'll fucking kill them if they guess your pronoun wrong.
It makes sense that you talk about kids. If you don't know, Drew used to be a rapping math teacher.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he gets whiter. Drew's never fucked a kid, but he does look like he knows how to keep him quiet.
I do. Undefeated. None of them reported me. Yeah. I am white, obviously. What? Yeah. The only thing whiter than me is my teeth. Julian, believe it or not, is Mexican. I know. Yeah, Julian, your family did hop the fence to get you here. That's very cool. But apparently your gender didn't make it, because that shit's still on the fence.
Nice.
Drew looks like he refuses to invite black people to his book club. But joke's on you, Drew, they don't even want to read Mein Kampf.
I didn't know they could read, so...
Cancel. Come on, guys.
Everybody make some noise for the LGBTQ tip over here. Julian does live with their parents. Julian, it looks like your mom still cuts your hair with a bowl, but forgot to take your ramen out of it first.
That's really good.
Drew has such a massive overbite, he wasn't born. He chewed his way out. Drew's overbite is a lot like his absent father, just trying to get as far away from Drew as possible. That's 4, guys.
I think Drew only did 3. I think Julian went first and last, just controlled the battle. I'm going first, I'm going last. I'm going to cut the battle off when I have a big hit at the end there.
That's how you do it, LA.
Yeah.
You go up there and own that territory.
So, fun, fast-paced battle. Couple of big hits towards the end. The ramen thing was great. The overbite, chewed his way out was great. What'd you think of the battle?
Shout out Julian Fernandez. His first #1 battle, was it in history?
Maybe. They had a number 2 earlier this season, so that's 13 RBL points for Julian Fernandez this season. Pretty good.
They were talking about a lot this year, so I'm proud to see that. During Pride Month, out the gate, #1 battle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's by default. This probably is the best battle of the week.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Obviously, they're wearing the same shirt. They, as in them together.
The collective.
Wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't really say too much. It was fun. It was... I saw some Yahtzee in there from some race jokes. We were talking about how you do race jokes earlier.
Yeah.
They kind of nailed it. That's how you do it if you're going to do it. So at the end of the day, they were both solid. Julian always has more fun, I feel like, in any battle he's in than his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew just kind of came pretty technical with just, I'm going to hit you. I don't need too much charisma because I feel like my jokes are going to overpower whatever charisma you're going to give me because I feel like my jokes are probably going to be stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was... Yeah, it's a pretty accurate analysis. There's not a lot to say about. I mean, it was fine. This was not one of our stronger weeks. I'm not gonna lie about it. I sat down and I watched all the battles, and I kind of like rank everything as I go. And at the end, I'm like, I don't know. There were like 9 battles that I was like, my note was like, this was fine. You know, there was a lot of that. So. But I did feel like those 2 big hits towards the end took them over the edge. That kind of sealed it for me in terms of being the number one battle. The ramen, the percentage of the jokes hitting was higher than you got in Manchester. I feel like there were more big moments in Manchester, but obviously more swings and misses in there. This was solid. Nothing really bombed. It was consistent the whole way through, and there were a couple of big ones towards the end. The Bay Area gets a number one battle out of it. We're going to get to the standings in a minute, but here's what I do want to talk about because we don't have a ton. The battle was what it was. It was good. Congratulations, both guys, both people. You both did great. Julian Fernandez has been going on their Instagram stories. This is the part of the show I hate. I'm going to fuck up your pronouns 100 times. Don't take it personally, please. I'm doing my best here. Julian on their Instagram story for about a month. Give me a title shot. I want a title shot. I want to be the LA champion. I deserve a title shot. Now, I weigh this very carefully, right? Julian has about 40 battles. Julian has put in work. Mm-hmm. Julian has had fun performances in Sacramento and the Mothership and LA and everything like that. Julian also has been in the midst of a little bit of a losing streak, right? But like I said, a number one and number two battle this season, getting some points for LA. In this case, some bonus points on the road. And I'm looking at it, and there's no clear-cut number one contender to go against Nate Welch. So what I'm saying right now is this, and I'm saying it directly to Julian Fernandez. I'm going to give you your shot.
Whoa!
June 25th, in the belly room, against Nate Welch. Here's the deal. Julian wins. They walk away with the belt. They cap off Pride Month by holding up the championship belt. They lose, deported.
Wow.
I think they're actually from LA. I don't know how we're going to enforce that.
Oh, okay.
But, all right, so maybe we can't do that, but you're going to have to quit comedy, entertainment in general, because they're also like a scare actor at Universal. I think they do voiceover work. None of it. You're done with all that. You got to go work at a grocery store or something. You hear that? Your time is almost up, Julian. You have one chance to salvage this thing. And I'm only responding this way because you in your Instagram stories have been calling me out for a month now, demanding this shot, saying you won't battle in the belly room again unless it's for the belt. Here it is.
The stakes are raised, Julian.
The stakes are raised.
Wow.
And make no mistake about it, Julian raised the stakes. This is not me. I'm very, hands off. I, sign the contracts and get out of the way.
We're going to have ice right there, ringside, waiting. Hopefully they don't have to pull you off stage. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. The deportation battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's overdue. We have to do it. I feel like, this is something the sport needs.
Yes, I mean, you talked about Mick Foley earlier. This is a tables, ladders, and chairs match for sure.
Yeah. So now that it's announced, preview that title match, right? I know you just found out about it just now. I purposely didn't tell you before we went on the air.
That's a big one. They've battled before, haven't they?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, not they as in Julian, they as in the collective of Nate versus Julian.
Yes.
Julian's talking big game.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, he got a little bit of embarrassed at the Netflix Fest. I know that's his pronoun, big he. He's on a little bit of a redemption rampage. So I don't know. That feels a little bit like a setup for Julian, and I worry about Julian. I worry about Julian versus Nate because Nate's got that special move that nobody really has a special move in roast battle outside of Shalaka in the way she does her opening and her jokes, which we saw Dave do at Denver.
Dan
from Denver was kind of doing the Shalaka and addressing Brian. Nate's the big pun.
Yep.
He's big punisher. So nobody does a pun like Nate Welch. Everybody knows that about him in roast battle. It's quicksand for a lot of the battlers. Good luck, Julian. You've seen the best of the best go against this guy.
Yep.
In this city, from Pat to Ryan to Paige, they've all fallen.
Yep.
If you're saying you're them, you got to do it or you're getting deported.
I think that's fair. That it's tough but fair, I think. 2024, as you mentioned, Nate, his belly room run, me, Ryan, Paige, beat us all. humbled at the Netflix festival on the outdoor stage at the Outside Joke, which, by the way, those battles, all the Netflix stuff will be dropping on the Patreon exclusively on June 17th. So if you want to check those out, June 17th, start saving your money right now. It's not that expensive, but I know you might be poor. I don't know your situation. But you'll be able to see on June 17th, Nate Welch get thoroughly embarrassed. Not once, but twice in one night, which, goddamn, that sucks. But he's going to be, as much as a champion can be out for revenge, he's going to be out for revenge. And we're going to see what happens. June 25th, it's going to be a title match. Julian Fernandez has been talking all this shit. They're going to get their opportunity. I'm excited to see it.
It's either a hate crime or a real redemption story.
Why can't it be both? All right, let's look at the standings before we get out of here. The American West Division, my God, the Wild Wild West just continues to be by far the most competitive division. Everybody getting on the board this week. LA getting 3.5 for their participation in that main event. The Bay Area picking up 7 and actually leapfrogging Austin, who picked up 4. You can see that battle for second place is really heating up. And Denver, who was just on fire recently, has picked up 13.5 points in the last 2 weeks. They are within striking distance of the rest of the division now. Over in the East, New York picks up 3. Chicago picks up 1. Not a lot of movement there. Atlanta, 13 weeks in a row, not on the board. We're not going to talk about it this week. We're going to keep it moving. And then we go internationally. We have Scotland, not on the board this week. Toronto picks up a couple points, but Scotland still with a pretty comfortable lead in the international West. And then Manchester creating a little bit of distance between themselves and Tokyo in the East.
Hi, Australia.
Yeah.
I love Manchester.
Me too. Let's start. We did a lot of negative last week, picking on the cities that have been struggling this year, and I'm going to do good cop, bad cop. Last week I was the bad cop. This week I'm the good cop. I believe in you, Atlanta. I believe in you, Australia. I believe in you, Montreal. You got this. You're going to come back. Enough about them. Let's talk about the cities who are doing well. Manchester just jumping right back out on top. Tokyo had been closing the gap. Tokyo just had a big event. We'll see what happens with them. But Ari, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being completely shocked, 1 being I expected this, how surprised are you that Manchester, 13 weeks in, is not only leading London, but damn near doubling them up?
The IE, the International East, it's different out there. Manchester, I did not see this coming. Obviously, nobody saw this coming. Australia, whatever. But the London, Tokyo, Manchester, that's a weird horse race because I know Tokyo was talking big game earlier this season. They're backing it up finally. They got a big event. I know they're going to have to put some points on the board. London is, they're in striking distance. They're probably going to win that division. That's just me, prognosticating, saying they're going to win.
Okay.
But Manchester, I see them getting in as a wild card, being the number 2 team. Tokyo, it's on you. But I see Manchester. I got it for London. London just has too much star power. They have too many great people in that city. Manchester's they're the rooks, and I feel like they're gonna hit a rookie wall here soon.
Okay. Well, remains to be seen. For now, they continue to lead the International East. Not a lot of changes atop the leaderboard. The people who are in front are staying in front, and certainly no exception internationally. Well, that does it for this week's episode of RBL Weekly. June 17th, the Patreon is launching, so stay tuned for that. Exclusive content. Keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I got nothing else. You?
Let's roast.